Almost all the applications to teacher training come via UCAS. I've talked about the Apply One process, so you get 3 applications in that. What we'd like you to do is take some time to demonstrate in your application the fact that you're making an informed decision. If you've done any school observation that you've done, if you've learned anything from that school observation, that's a really nice thing to include as well, something that you've learnt from your school observation. Use the link that I highlighted in a previous slide to make sure that you're checking what courses are available. And then also please have a look, there'll normally be some entry requirements. Please check through those entry requirements, make sure that you've got the appropriate level degree to make sure that the application is there. Or some shortage subjects areas in secondary, you might not need a degree that's in line with the subject. You might need a really good A-level, B grade or above in that subject area to make an application. If you're applying to primary, as long as you've got a 2-2 degree, that would be fantastic across whatever, but you also need to make sure that you've got appropriate levels of GCSEs in place. So please take some time to check the entry requirements for whatever route that you're choosing to follow. Can you please take some care in choosing your referees? If you've been in education for within the last 3 years, it's important for you to identify one university or education-based referee, and the other one from another area of your life. Either way, it's really important that you have professional references. Those are people that have a professional point of departure from yourself, so line managers or something like that. The reference should come from a professional email address. You may want to check that your referees, just double check with them about writing a positive statement. You'd be surprised of the number of references we get that aren't wholly positive. And with your referees, can you just try to encourage them to write a reference that's tailored specifically to you applying to be in teacher training. So some of our references that we receive are very, very generic and not pertinent really to what we're asking, which is how appropriate this person might be for teacher training. Looking a little bit more closely at the personal statement, please bear in mind you are restricted to the number of words that you're allowed to use. So it's really worth preparing this as a Word document before you submit it. Also, my encouragement would be to get somebody else to have a look at it. Some of the things that we want you to pay attention to, we need you to make sure that there's a focus on spelling, punctuation and grammar. So please take some time to make sure that you've made it grammatically as good as you possibly can. So the last couple of slides here are one is going to give you details. If you've got qualifications from overseas, the government have got a specific department to deal with overseas qualifications and give you some idea of what's equivalency they might have. So the final slide in this element is a slide with contact details. My name's Clive, as I mentioned. I am the admissions tutor for secondary PGCE here at St Mary's University, and the other contact detail is for Susan Taylor, who is exactly the same but on the primary side, so she's the primary admissions tutor. We're going to split the video and the links now so that you can follow another link to learn a little bit more in detail about the secondary provision, or you could learn a little bit more about the primary provision.